Okay, we're just waiting for a couple of minutes more. Sorry about the delay. We're just waiting for my colleagues to join from two different locations. Okay, so I think we'll get started. Hello and good evening to the second hangout. Uh, And the idea of this hangout is to talk about, share key updates from the last month and also give you a quick sense of what we have in store for the next month. Uh, from from a technology point of view, we have released a new feature, which is essentially the campaigns feature. So we've redone it, all of it, and we've launched it. So I'm sure all of you would really enjoy using that feature and would love to hear any feedback which you may have. In terms of the other features which we're really working on is we're launching a very special Diwali campaign. So that's something which I think we're very excited about. So you should see that campaign coming out in the next week or so. I'll let Smita give a few impact updates.
Sure. So this month we've actually signed up with quite a few new partners, and all of them have been very different from some of our previous partners. One of them was Hasiru Dala, which we spoke about in the last hangout as well. And I'm happy to inform that in the next few days we'll actually have profiles of the entrepreneurs up. Yesterday, we had a very interesting meeting with one of the persons who actually runs the dry waste collection centers, which is what we are essentially funding. And the lady we met used to work as a waste picker until a year ago. And after she got in touch with Hasiru Dala, she's actually been able to look at herself more as an entrepreneur who's running the dry waste collection center. So I think that's something we're really excited about. So we'll be funding 5 entrepreneurs, 3 in the first tranche and 2 more later on. And these are slightly higher loans than we would normally do. So watch out for updates on from these entrepreneurs. And I think with all the problems that Bangalore is facing in terms of waste segregation and so this is a sector that is of strategic importance to all of us, and I'm sure impact will be seen in different spaces. It's not just about financial impact, but it's about how we'll be able to impact the environment by funding these entrepreneurs. The other partnership that we're just about to sign up is with an organization called Vigyan Ashram. They're about 1.5 hours from Pune, and they work with kids mostly in the space of education. And what has been an interesting twist to their recent twist to their operating model is that now they're also actually incubating entrepreneurs at Vigyan Ashram. So not only do they train them, but actually give them skills to become entrepreneurs and set up their own businesses. So I think we are expecting to fund them in the month of December, but then the groundwork for that has actually already started. The other partner is based in Varanasi, and this organization is called SMB Wheels. I'll probably let Ram give you more updates on what this organization is about and why we're so excited about them.
Yeah, so we have this amazing partnership. It's an organization called SMB Wheels. It's a social enterprise. It's run by an amazing entrepreneur called Naveen Krishna. So what they really do in Varanasi is work with rickshaw pullers, give them access to credit so they could buy a rickshaw as opposed to renting it out. And there is a lot of instances, and not just in Varanasi, but in a good, North India, where rickshaw pullers pull rickshaw for close to 5 years, and even then, they're not an owner of the rickshaw. So this partnership would essentially result in them getting an asset and at a low cost. So one of the things we're trying to do is really offer them at a very low cost. We're still in the process of zeroing down on the exact interest rate, but it would definitely be much lower than what even we charge by our own standards. So that's something which we're very excited about. So that should we should be able to roll that partnership out in the coming weeks.
And in terms of other key updates from the impact team, something we've been working on is to really improve our efficiency. I think this is something we mentioned in the last hangout on how quickly we'll be able to deliver credit to our borrowers. I think that is something that's been on our mind. And what we've been doing now is measuring this time, and if there are delays that are happening, what are the reasons for the delays? One of the key in the entire cycle of from when we actually get loan application forms from the field to when it is published and when the borrower gets the loan in their hand, we're trying to reduce the cycle time. And the key part of this process is the editorial workflow that it actually goes into. And I'm happy to say that from when it used to take about 5 to 6 days to actually publish the profiles, we've actually been able to bring it down to an average of 0.77 days. I think that's one big area where we've seen our efficiency has gone up. The other area is in the publishing process itself on how much time does somebody take, between collecting the application on the field to publishing it. And, that actually used to take a lot of time because our partners used to delay. There used to be issues in terms of data entry, and that's where a lot of time was getting lost. And really thrilled to say that now we're doing it in about 0.81 days. A lot of work that we had to do was in terms of motivating the partners, telling them what will actually happen if there are delays. Who would in the end the person who would suffer is our followers in the community, and that's not something either Ramdev wants or the social investor wants or the team partners would appreciate. I think just sensitizing them to this has actually brought about this tremendous change. And we are actually looking at other critical processes, constantly working on it, analyzing it, looking at where we are going wrong and trying to fix those improvements. I think this would be really important in helping us scale efficiently.
Yeah, and also what we're really looking at is to uh, you know we're also launching this new initiative where many volunteers can start contributing if they have video editing skills. So they're launching this whole new way of actually inviting volunteers to help us with our field videos. So more on that, you can find it on our website. Until now, you could join Ranveer perhaps as a content editor, but now you would get an opportunity to become a video editor as well. So that's something which we're very excited about. So if you do have video editing skills, it doesn't really matter, even if you're an amateur film editor, but if you have that zeal in you, do let us know, do write to us, and we'll be very happy to have you on board. The other in an exciting partnership we're looking at is with an organization called the Goat Trust. So that's something which is very innovative. It's run by a person called Sanjeev, who's been who's a veteran in this space. What he's been essentially doing is to work with the poorest of the poor in Lucknow, outskirts of Lucknow, where he reaches out to the communities who don't have livestock. He offers them the know-how, advises them on which breed to buy, essentially goats, and also handholds them throughout the life cycle of the goat. Helps them get a better price, gives them support, veterinary support, ensures that a goat, which in many ways was the last resort of earning some income, essentially becomes an asset. So that is something which we're very excited about, and you'll hear a lot more on that partnership in the coming weeks. As always, we'll be happy to take any questions. So please do, leave your questions by clicking on the Q&A app. So that will be towards the end. So feel free to ask us any questions as always.
Another interesting thing has been, which we've been doing quite a lot of it recently, is the field trip. So think quite a lot of social investors have joined us on field trips recently. As we speak, in fact, a couple of our team members, along with a few social investors, are in Charaka. And tomorrow being Gandhi Jayanti, I don't know of any better way of celebrating Gandhi Jayanti than being at Charaka. So some of us could not be there, but we're going to be in another location tomorrow where Prasanna sir, who's the founder of Charaka, is also looking at working with traditional weavers in North Karnataka. So some of us are going to be in Gadag tomorrow to being part of the celebration. In Gadag, but then lucky few social investors and team members are in Charaka right now, experiencing the entire ambience there. I think it's you just need to be there to experience it. And we'll be having more of these field trips, hopefully one in December, which will start off from Hyderabad and it is to a place called Russell. It's either going to be in the end of November or December, but we'll keep you informed. So, I mean, would love to have you there. I think there's no better way to understand how the body works than to actually be there and interact with the community. So, you'll hear me update from us on that.
Okay, so I can see a few questions coming in. It looks like there are more people joining us on this. Just the other thing which I also want to quickly share is that in addition to the sort of field trips, we're also looking at launching our Rangde's online store. This is where you could actually buy Rangde branded products. So that is something we're going to launch just about during the Diwali time frames. So again, I think that's something we are very excited about. So would love to hear feedback on that as and when that happens. The other update which I have is on the processes. So as you're aware, quite a few of Rangde's processes are actually under Six Sigma. So I'm very happy to share that we have made significant progress in terms of Six Sigma. Now we have 5 processes which are under Six Sigma, and we're looking at adding more. We're working on 5 more. So we're looking at about having 10 processes, hopefully by end of next month, which would be under control. So that is something which we're very excited about again. We're also looking at, for the first time, some venturing out into 2 new states, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. Now, those are the 2 new states which have been Telangana was recently formed. Again, 2 very, very interesting partnerships. Early days, but then that is something which we've again, I just want to give a quick heads up because that is something we are very excited about. And again, we are going to work with artisan communities who find it really tough to raise credit as working capital. So that is something which I think you will hear in the coming weeks as well.
Yeah, nothing much from my end except that do check out our careers page. We are looking out for quite a few people to join our team. As we grow, I think what would really help us is having team members to join us and work full time. And quite a few of our team members have been social investors before. Their engagement with Run, they started off as social investors, then they went on to become chapter members and finally said, okay, let's join the team full time. So you don't have to follow this flow. You could actually just from a social investor become a full time team member. So please check out our careers page, and if any of those opportunities interest you or you feel there's any other way you could contribute, drop us an email and we'd love to see how we can actually play a role.
Yeah, and also if you're based in a country where you feel that you could help us set up a chapter, do reach out to us, and we're very happy to help you get people in that region, social investors who are part of Rangde. We can organize a meetup. So that's something which again we'll be very happy to do. So I guess we don't have too many questions at this in this hangout. So in the interest of time, I think we would probably, wind up this hangout until, unless, of course, if anybody has any questions to ask. I can see a lot of viewers of the hangout, but if you don't have any questions, I think that's a good sign. But if you do have, feel free to ask us. We are happy to, answer any questions which you may have.
And of course, we're going to be back again on the first of next month at the same time, at
Yeah.
8:30 p.m. IST. So we'll be happy to take questions then or now, or just drop us an email if you have anything. But thank you so much for joining us. And I'm sure it's going to be a long weekend for a lot of us. So if you have plans, then have a great time. And and hope to catch you again next month on the first of November.
Yeah. Thank you, and have a great Gandhi Jayanti tomorrow. And this month is full of festivity, so have a fantastic Dashera and a wonderful Diwali.
Yeah, from all of us in the Runway team, thank you so much for being part of the Hangout. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.